Top on the brief this morning, the president has arrived Saudi Arabia, that's in Riyadh, to participate in the Joint Arab Islamic Summit. He was received by the Deputy Governor of Riyadh region, Prince Mohammed bin Abdulrahman bin Abdulaziz. The summit holding at the invitation of King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman will focus on the current situation in the Middle East, and the meeting between both leaders is expected to address a number of critical regional issues, with particular emphasis on the ongoing Israel-Palestinian conflict. That's according to the presidential spokesman, Bayo Onanuga.
In Israel and in Palestine, we have seen the kind of loss of lives and destruction of property that everyone around the globe is talking about. And so when this summit was muted and Nigeria was invited, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, consistent with his thinking about, being very humane. He is a very, very humane leader. He looks at the issue of humanity very seriously. Whatever the reasons are, he thinks that both countries need to de-escalate. They must come back to the negotiating table so that at least for the, let's have some peaceful resolution. Whatever is the case, this conflict can never end on the war front. We must come to find a diplomatic solution. And this is exactly what we are seeking here. And so Nigeria is seizing the moment again to participate, to lend its voice as a very important player on the global stage to ensure that all countries of the world have a peaceful resolution to this matter. Nigeria is very consistent on that. It supports a two-state solution. That unless you do that, look at the way the conflict is already going, spilling over the borders of both Israel and Palestine. It's going to Lebanon, and we are also seeing that Iran is also being gradually, brought into the conflict. So unless this solution is found, and unless there is a diplomatic solution to it, this may engulf the entire region. And in effect, it also engulf the entire world. Nigeria is a very important country, like I said earlier. Unless there is peace in the Middle East, there is no way Nigeria will not have also issues to contend with. Already, we are seeing movement of people around the region. Nigeria, because of its proximity, is likely to begin to draw some of the people who are escaping this conflict from. And we also have our own share of issues here. So we want all these states to live in peace, to live in harmony within secured borders, so that the world can be at peace.
So that's Mohammed Malagi Idris, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, as a follow-up to what Mr. Bayo Onanuga said concerning the president's participation at that particular summit in Riyadh that has to do with Israel and Palestine. But let's move on now and come back home. Something is brewing in the offense as far as Labour is concerned. Labour has directed its members to go on a strike from December the 1st for states that are yet to implement the national minimum wage. The directive is part of the resolution of NLC after its National Executive Council meeting, where it set up a national minimum wage implementation committee to commence a nationwide assessment, mobilization and sensitization campaign. The NLC also accused the petroleum marketers, on the other hand, of inflating pump price of petrol, and alleged that the marketers are exploiting Nigerians and adding to an already heightened suffering stemming from government harsh economic policies. Now, the acting chief of army staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has arrived in Sokoto for his maiden operational visit to 8th division area of his responsibility. The Army Chief of Army Staff, General Oluyede, is expected to visit Sultan of Sokoto and meet with other relevant stakeholders within the area, and also use the opportunity to address troops of Operation Fasanyama fighting terrorists in the northwest region. 5 local government areas of Sokoto State are facing the challenge of a new terror group known as Lukarawa. Meanwhile, the governor of Kebbi State, Nasser Idris, has sent a delegation to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, to address the rising threat of new Islamic sect Lakarua, whose recent attacks have claimed 15 lives in the state. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the governor, Ahmed Idris, the delegation led by former governor of the state and current Minister of Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, included Senator Bala Ibrahim Al-Nala, the National Organizing Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Suleiman Agungo, and former Commissioner of Justice and Attorney General of the state, Barrister Nasiru Jungu. There's a lot that has to do with security, and that's why the Arewa Consultative Forum has called up for the urgent action of the Nigerian military to quell the uprising of Lakaruwa terror group that is wreaking havoc in Sokoto and Kebbi states in the northwest region. In a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Professor Tuku Mohammed Abba, the forum noted that the emergence of Lakaruwa terror group in the northwest region raises serious concerns as it indicates an escalation in the devastating state of insecurity in that particular region. And from the northwest, let's head to the southwest. Yes, the Inspector General of Police, Sakade Betuku, has banned the Western Security Network, otherwise known as Amotekun, and other vigilante corps from participating in the November 16 governorship election in Ondo State. The directive, which was contained in a statement by the first public relations officer, explains that the IGP ordered the deployment of officers from various specialized units, including Special Intervention Squad, Police Mobile Force, Counter-Terrorism Unit, Special Protection Unit, Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit, and K9 Unit, among others, while area patrols will be conducted with police helicopters and gunboats will patrol the state's waterways and riverine area. And away from security issues, let's talk business. And this time we are heading to Kano State, where in a bid to tackle the severe flooding, erosion affecting parts of Kano State, the governor of the state, Abba Yusuf, has announced a strategic partnership with the World Bank and the federal government to implement a large-scale erosion control project in Gayawa area. During a recent visit to the Gayawa Gully erosion site, Governor Yusuf expressed his administration's readiness to address the environmental hazards that have plagued the Bulu Bala Gayawa community in Ngongo local government area, which also impacts nearby Nasarawa and Fage local government areas in the state. On the international scene this time, the office of Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has confirmed that he had spoken 3 times with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump over the tightening alliance between Israel and the United States, and also about the potential threat Iran poses to Israel's security. The statement issued by his office says he had talked to Trump about the great opportunities before Israel in the field of peace and its expansion. Those were the words from the Prime Minister's office. And now to sports, where Manchester United signed off Ruud van Nistelrooy's temporary stint in charge with a 3-0 win over Leicester on Sunday. Ruben Amorim will be in charge for the first time when United returns to the international break. From the international break, but Van Nistelrooy was able to hand over the reins with a 4-game unbeaten run since stepping up to replace the sacked Erik ten Hag. A brace from Bruno Fernandes and a wonderful curling effort by Leandro Garnacho were enough to seal the 3 points for the Red Devils. All right, while their neighbors are struggling, United is making headway despite, what happened with Erik ten Hag. So congratulations to them, but let's see what happens with Pep. But those are the stories we've been tracking for you, say, in the last 24 hours.